Dear Earth 2 friends. This is the third part of our series on the draft update paper from Earth2.io. Please make sure to listen to the first and second part before diving into this third part. You can find the links to the previous videos in the description below. Also, please be aware of the Earth 2 disclaimer presented in part 1. This is not financial advice and we are not financial advisors. Please do your own research. Now, let's look at section 3 of the Earth 2 draft update paper and the Earth 2 economy.
Section 3. Earth 2 economy. The E-dollar. E-dollars is a stable in-game currency pegged to the USD value. Real-world fiat currency can be used to purchase E-dollars. E-dollars are presently used to purchase new land from other players, player-traded jewels, EPLs and hollow building constructions. We plan to replace E-dollar payment for some of the purchasable digital assets in favor of Essence. However, E-dollars will remain an option to purchase new land for a longer term in order to provide new players with a low barrier entry into asset ownership and subsequent gameplay inside Earth 2. E-dollars can be withdrawn back into USD via one of the internal Earth 2 withdrawal systems. Earth 2 has a large full-time customer support and accounting team to process withdrawals and has processed player withdrawals totaling over $14 million to date. The land. Virtual real estate. Earth's entire area is divided into 10 by 10 meter tiles, which are the basis of everything on Earth 2. Players can buy a single tile or a continuous cluster of up to 750 tiles to form a property. What makes each property distinct is their shape, size, character of its landscape, and the buildings placed upon it. Landowners, owners of a property, have sole discretion on what can be built, advertised, or utilized on their property. A player cannot build on another player's property unless there is permission granted by the landowner to do so. Tier 1 and Tier 2 properties. Properties inside Earth 2 are presently split into two tiers. Tier 1 and Tier 2. Tier 1 properties represent any property purchased by a player up until early December 3, 2021. After this date, Tier 2 properties became the standard property type of all new land purchases. Various key attributes differentiate Tier 1 and Tier 2 properties, and this is detailed as follows. Tier 1 tiles have guaranteed E-ther to Essence conversion and Essence generation, while for Tier 2, the conversion and generation is unpredictable. In addition to guaranteed Essence generation, Tier 1 tiles have other generative abilities that Tier 2 tiles do not. In the future, Tier 1 property owners will have full access to discoverable resources, while for Tier 2 tiles, access would be restricted. Resource saturation for Tier 1 is also boosted compared to the standard saturation for Tier 2. Tier 1 tiles will also continue to generate lit, periodic bonuses, and have the ability to assign EPLs, while Tier 2 tiles will not. Tier 1 tiles will retain their land classes under Tier 1, while Tier 2 tiles will be labeled generally and no longer be distinguished by classes. Essence. The foundations of Earth 2 are intrinsic to the attributes of our physical Earth, yet there are some notable differences in how natural resources can be gathered, processed and produced. From an environmental perspective inside Earth 2, Essence allows inhabitants to make our cake and eat it. After Earth 2 was created, one core piece of technology was quickly discovered, the elementarizer. It was capable of reading the string echoes of atoms, and creating essence from the highly concentrated hydrogen amounts found inside E-ther, from which it could then reproduce any other material. All of a sudden, players could produce raw materials seemingly out of thin air, so long as these raw materials could be found in the ground close by, and in sufficient amounts. Elementarizers soon became what we now know as mentors, and players started to construct and place them on their properties. In addition to E-ther detection, it wasn't just rare earth or oil that mentors could help replicate. Limestone, water, even wood could be produced in excellent quality. Interestingly, withdrawing hydrogen from the atmosphere in huge amounts made it necessary to refill it by taking water from the oceans, helping keep the rising sea levels at bay. However, there are limits to this technology. The string echoes need to be validated to function properly. In other words, a player is unable to simply put a piece of gold in the ground and expect it to multiply. The replicated material requires official validation by the Earth 2 keepers. This validation causes the binary representation of soil around the resources to evaluate the compatibility of the replicated material within its binary core and recognize it as a resource, otherwise the reproduction will not work. There currently exist hundreds of millions of validated resources inside of Earth 2, however, a player will sometimes have the opportunity to claim and validate the existence of a resource that the Earth 2 keepers may have missed. This is known as resource validation and is described further in the resources section. To summarize, essence is the direct byproduct of E-ther created through the process of transforming E-ther, which evaporates from player-owned tiles and is detected by the mentor. Essence utility inside the Earth 2 metaverse is vast and will become an ERC20 utility token on the Ethereum blockchain. Ways to get essence. Essence is something that, for the most part, needs to be earned through labor and effort by the player inside Earth 2. Essence can be earned through regular game activity, but players can maximize their essence income through strategic play. There will be 3 primary ways for a player to acquire essence on Earth 2 at an entry level. 1. Ownership via Earth 2 land. Currently, the only way of obtaining essence in Earth 2 is through the construction and use of mentors on player properties to detect and quickly transform E-ther into essence. This is the entry method of essence generation for landowner players, and this method will distribute enough essence for Earth 2 to function as a metaverse. The logical formula for earning essence from land is tiles owned, multiplied by time passed, multiplied by player activity, multiplied by quality of play, equals essence. Tiles owned. The amount of E-ther evaporated is directly and linearly tied to the amount of tiles owned by a player. Time passed. E-ther is evaporated every 24 hours. Player activity. The player is required to actively claim E-ther and convert it to gain essence. E-ther that is not claimed will vanish after a time, requiring a player to remain vigilant in order to make progress in Earth 2. Quality of play. Before E-ther can be claimed, it must be detected by the mentor. Good play will increase E-ther evaporation and maximize E-ther detection. 2. Engagement via Earth 2 rewards. Rewards are separate essence gains tied to a specific game activity and actions inside the Earth 2 metaverse. There are currently no essence rewards implemented. However, future game modes will lean heavily on essence as a reward for collaboration and cooperation between players to achieve a common goal. There are 2 examples of this upcoming essence bonus reward system within Earth 2. The first will focus on rewarding players who correctly validate resources on properties staking claim on the player resource validation system. The other will focus on further rewarding unique players who actively process E-ther into essence on adjacent properties regularly. The most active countries will receive the essence bonus distributed among the most active players and co-op groups, in other words, megacities, inside each winning country. There will be scores of new reward systems added to Earth 2 over time based on the play-to-earn concept of rewarding players for their participation in specific in-game activities. 3. Adoption via airdrops. Airdrops are isolated essence rewards given by Earth 2. These are usually retrospective rewards tied to prior player activity, but they can also be tied to a new feature, service, or promotion. Airdrops will not follow a strict or foreseeable schedule to avoid conditioning players to expect them, which diminishes both the value of the airdrop and that of the game activity it is rewarding. The first and only airdrop to date has been the Essence Distribution Commitment, which was a gift to the early adopters. 20% of the gifted essence was handed out immediately, with the remaining amount being distributed as guaranteed essence yield tied to their Tier 1 properties. There will be additional airdrops in the future, and if a player expects to be part of a retrospective airdrop, they will need to have, at a minimum, an account on Earth 2. Accounts on Earth 2 are free to create. Aside from the above 3 entry points, the only remaining way to acquire essence will be to purchase it from another Earth 2 player selling it on a decentralized exchange. Once a player owns essence, there will be other ways to increase their holding, via staking, interactive gameplay with other players, and other mechanics yet to be released. Essence utility. Essence provides utility inside Earth 2, and that utility will continue to expand across new features, gameplay, and even entirely new future products. Several notable existing and soon-to-be released features where Essence can and will be spent are as follows. 1. EPLs. Earth 2 Property Locator, existing. Essence can be used to purchase or rename an EPL. 2. Jewels, existing. Essence is necessary for improving a player's jewels. See Jewels for more information. 3. Resources, upcoming Essence is necessary for the production of resources. See Resources for more information. 4. Upgrading T2 properties to T1, upcoming Essence will be required to upgrade Tier 2 properties to Tier 1. The price to upgrade a T2 property to a T1 property will be pinned to the T1 E-dollar value of the land in that country. The amount of Essence required will be determined by the value of Essence on the decentralized exchanges. Further use cases for Essence will be released, including validation of resources on a property and the construction of hollow buildings.
Hopefully you enjoyed this third part of the draft paper update. Please like, subscribe and hit the notification bell if you like the video and want to be notified on the next part of the draft paper. Thanks for watching.